Utah State basketball game is final, and now it's your chance to text and call about it with Al Lewis and John Russell as KVNU Aggie Game Day continues with Aggie Call. The numbers are 753-5868 for calls, and the text line is 435-339-0321. Aggie Call, part of KVNU Aggie Game Day for USU Hoops, is sponsored by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, LSS Insurance, Young Truck and Trailer, DD Auto and Salvage, My Mattress, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Elements Restaurant, White Pine Funeral Home, Les Olson Company, Prodigy Brewing, Cache Valley Bank, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Darrow's Appliance, HSA Depot, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Alpine Home Medical, S.E. Needham Jewelers, Thermo Fisher, Primrose Home Care, and Golden Spike Electric. It's KVNU Aggie Call with Al Lewis and John Russell.
Well, Boise State put the clamps on the Aggies in the first half, and Utah State came out and continued to cast up threes to start the second half, and I'm thinking, oh, my word, what's going on here? They can't make threes. They keep shooting threes. Then all of a sudden, Funk made a three. Ashford made a three. There's some Aggie life, and the life just continued. They finally took their first lead of the game at 51-49 as R.J. Idlerock made two free throws with 7:45 to go. R.J. was huge, and the Aggies ran past Boise State. There was a period of time where they didn't score a field goal for over 7 minutes, and Utah State wins the game 72-62. What a victory tonight for the Aggies in this conference semifinal. John knew that was terrific tonight.
I don't mind staying up this late when you got a game like that. Makes it a little easier. But man, hats off to the Aggies for not quitting. Great halftime adjustments, and I'm a little worried with the defense that Boise threw out in the first half, but Aggies figured out a way to get back.
And the Aggies played defense.
Yes, they did.
They really seemed to contest Boise State shots. Did a terrific job. Hey, and really handled the backboard tonight a lot too in this game. But again, interesting stuff we're going to be talking about tonight. But Jalen, that's another really, really nice win for Utah State's basketball team.
Yeah, it is. It's a big win. Obviously, like you guys said, first half, we came out a little bit shaky, started off a little bit slow. Couldn't really figure things out. Second half, we came out, made some adjustments at halftime. Really good job by the coaching staff in making those adjustments. Obviously, really good job by the players having the confidence, stepping up, making some big shots. And honestly, our team's just solid. It's so hard to prepare for us. You got a different guy you got to worry about every night out. And honestly, I thought Shulga did his thing. And then you get a guy like Idlerock, comes out of nowhere, has maybe potentially his biggest game of the season tonight at a crucial moment, made a lot of big plays. Shulga made a lot of big shots coming down the stretch. I just thought we did a lot of great things that we needed to do tonight to win this game.
What were the adjustments? You're a basketball guy. What did the Aggies do different second half that they didn't do first?
Yeah, I just think we were a little bit more patient. We still shot the ball, like you said. We still shot some threes, and that was the thing we didn't do. We shot them in the first half, but it looked like our confidence was lacking a little bit. Our confidence got back. We started having a little bit more of our swagger in that second half. We made a few adjustments. I don't know if we changed our offense a ton, but our defense is the biggest thing that I think you could take away. Our defense in that second half was really tough. We started playing a little bit more physical. Like you said, we contested a lot of shots. Obviously, a few questionable fouls there with maybe contesting some shots, but we didn't give them any good looks. We didn't give them any open looks. And in the first half, they were getting some good looks for their shooters, making big shots. Second half, we made a lot of good adjustments defensively, I think, over offensively.
Jalen, you talk about the defensive effort and absolutely stellar, but you look at what Boise's big shooters, other than Degenhart, the rest of the team really struggled. You look at Shaver was 4 for 13, Agbo 3 for 11.
After it looked like those guys started off really hot, and Rice didn't score a basket.
Rice didn't score a basket. Was it just individual efforts that you saw out there, or was it just the game plan?
I think, it's individual when it comes to defense, but I also think it's like a team game plan. And like we said, the first half they were getting looks. Degenhart was stepping in the three. Shaver was getting some easier looks. Second half, we tightened up those screws defensively. We got more into them, made them have to put the ball on the floor a little bit more, made them have to turn the ball over a little bit more. And on the flip side, like you guys said, we still played the offense we did. We made some shots, but I think defensively, I think we just played tougher defense, more physical, closed out the shooters better. And realistically, they didn't get a lot of good looks. The shots that they did make in the second half were actually pretty tough shots.
Yeah, without a doubt. If you're the San Diego State coaching staff, which it's great to say they have to prepare for Utah State, but you've got a team that last night, Funk and Ashworth really, they were the straw that stirred the drink. Tonight, you get Bairstow was phenomenal in the first half.
Kept us in the game.
Kept us in the game.
First half, yes.
You look at Idle Rock, you look at Shulga Big. What do you do to prepare for this team if you're an opposing coach?
Just better make sure you guys are on it defensively at every position, all the way to the bench. Everybody that's going to play, like we said, makes our team real tough. You can't necessarily prepare. Obviously, guys are going to prepare for Ashworth and they're going to prepare for Funk. But like I told Al before the game, we have capable third, fourth, fifth guys, scoring guys that can win a game for you, and we showcase that tonight. So San Diego State, they got to go out. Obviously, they got to prepare for a full team. They're going to probably guard Ashworth really tight. They're probably going to guard Funk really tight and try to make them do different things than shooting open threes. But you can't necessarily focus so much solely on them that you let someone like a Shulga or a Bairstow or Idle Rock potentially end up beating you in that game. And that's kind of what you potentially saw a little bit tonight. They focused really in on Funk. They focused really in on Ashworth. And we got guys that are capable scorers that can hurt you in the rest of the game.
I ask you this periodically throughout the year, but very quick turnaround time. San Diego State doesn't have it. They played earlier. Utah State.
They get a little longer.
A little longer.
They get probably 3-4 hours, maybe a couple hours extra for sleeping.
Sure, but as a player, what time is it? It's about 11:20 in Vegas, and they're going to tip off at 3 tomorrow. What do you do as a player when you've got that quick of a turnaround?
Yeah, obviously, got to make sure you take care of your body. They got to go home. They got to get to sleep. They'll probably do a little bit of a walkthrough if it's in the hotel and stuff like that. Watch a little bit of film if you're the coaches. But as a player, you got to get home, celebrate the win, have fun with it. But hey, it's one more. Won a semifinal game. You got a chance to win the championship. I think you pretty much sealed your fate in the NCAA tournament, regardless of what happens tomorrow. I think we're going to be an automatic bid. So I think that was a really big win. So have fun with it, but you got to go home, get into bed, take care of yourself in the morning, eat something good, and get ready to go win a championship, So I think the most crucial part, making sure that you're feeling good. If you got ice, do all that kind of stuff tonight, take care of it, get to sleep on time, obviously, and wake up and fuel yourself with some good food and get ready to compete in a championship game.
Jalen, isn't it big that R.J. Idle Rock is a veteran player who's played a lot of games and got into this kind of situation tonight and makes a basket or two, and then he felt it in this game. And you could tell defensively he went after it too.
Yeah, and I think that's just big, like we've touched on and like we've seen, he hasn't complained. He hasn't done anything like that about his role on the team. And that's what's so fun about basketball, and it makes it the best sport. Every single game is so different. Funk went for 32 tonight. You play back-to-back nights, and it's someone else's night, and that's what makes the game so fun. And I truly think Idle Rock was the guy that really made a lot of the big plays down the stretch, did it defensively, did it offensively, and he's coming from the bench after being a starter, and it was his night tonight, and he did what he needed to do to help us win, and let alone, he did it with Shulga. I thought Shulga hit a lot of big shots, those back-to-back threes that he hit on those possessions in the second half. One in the up top, one in the corner. I thought those were huge and momentum swingers. So I think those two did a really, really great job tonight.
Well, we have to make them, again, the second half they were miserable shooting the ball. We were miserable in the first half, so you're key about shooting the three-point percentage. I mean, in the end of the game, we only shot 31%, but they shot 29%, so we shot better than they did. Stay out of foul trouble. Ashworth played the whole second half with just 3 fouls, didn't get another one. Funk was the guy who got to 4 eventually they had to worry about. And our pace, and I think eventually we finally did that. We pushed it a little bit more offensively. We put the pressure on a little bit more defensively, so I think that's how your keys stand up. So, Jalen, get ready for the third game. We haven't been able to beat San Diego State this year. Remember, we went into a situation for championships before where maybe we hadn't been able to get the Aztecs, but then you finally beat them maybe in that final game, and it'll be the 4th time that we played them now for the championship. We won 2 out of 3. Let's make it 3 out of 4. So we'll talk to you tomorrow at 3 o'clock, okay?
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
That's a great win, a great guy to talk to. Jalen Moore about it. We're back with more post-game, and we're going to get to this Thomas & Mack Center for the Aggies interviews first. 72-62. Aggies come back second half and blow out Boise State. And this is Game Day on KVNU, brought to you by Young Truck and Trailer Center. Again, on the highway, 2900 South on Highway 89 for your flatbed trucks and, of course, also for your trailers.
Alpine Home Medical has been around for over 25 years. Can you believe that? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. What keeps us coming to work every day? We're passionate about caring for you. From home and bathroom safety to transportation, mobility, recovery, oxygen, sleep, and more, come into any of our 10 locations today and let us take care of you. Visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
You've been putting up with a dirty, dusty wood stove for years. Why haven't you changed it? Go to Advanced Fireplace and Stove in Logan. Look through their showroom for ideas on Quadra-Fire pellet and wood stoves and Heat and Glow gas fireplaces. They have several demos in place so you can see firsthand how your project will look. And you can trust the pros at Advanced Fireplace and Stove. They'll do the job right. Advanced Fireplace and Stove. 752-7272. Online at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
As a small business, achieving your financial goals and ambitions can be a steep and rocky mountain to climb. This is Brett Green, president of Cache Valley Bank. To conquer this mountain and achieve your goals, it takes planning, hard work, and discipline. At Cache Valley Bank, we have the resources, expertise, and flexibility to help you scale your way to success. Give us a call. Let's work together and climb the mountains that await. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. Life is good. Life at My Mattress is good too. Why might I say that? Because today is a good day to slay a Goliath. The other day I went into a mattress store here in Logan that has 2,500 stores across the country. I'd say that's a Goliath. We were 20% less expensive on every bed that we both offer. We may not have 2,500 stores, but we are number one in Cache Valley. Better product and better prices. Isn't it time to sleep exceptionally? Only at My Mattress.
It's KVNU Game Day with Aggie Call. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
It's Al Lewis, it's John Russell. It's your show for phone calls. It's 753-5868. Also for texts, 435-339-0321. We're waiting. Camera is up. They're not at the podium yet, so James is always our good caller to call in. James, I may have to interrupt you, but go ahead with what have you got tonight on Aggie Call.
Hey, thanks, Al. Appreciate it. A couple things key to the game tonight, I think, is number one, turnovers. First half, we really struggled with the turnovers. Second half, we really calmed down there. And then the second key, and we've talked about this a lot, when we get going on defense, we are a tough team to beat. And I don't think we were as strong in the first half, but the second half, we clamped down. And really, we're tough. We're tough to beat when we play good defense. And we shot the ball well the second half, too. So I think, reducing the turnovers, keying down on defense, and then, again, we're a good shooting team. That comes with us. But defense and reducing those turnovers, I thought, were the key tonight that really helped us win Boise.
I think you're kind of right on. But I know the first half, the turnovers had produced points off of turnovers. They were 13-0 in the first half of this game between these teams. Points off of turnovers eventually were 13-10. So the Aggies did not give up a point off of a turnover in the second half and got 10 against Boise State to make up the difference almost in the first half.
They went from 10 turnovers in the first half to 5 in the second, and a few of those were charges, that sort of thing. So, no, they just played a lot smarter, and they seemed a little frazzled in the first half.
Yeah, and again, didn't have Funk and Ashworth into the game for a while. Ashworth got 8 straight points, but he got into foul trouble. Got that third foul right at the end of the first half where you thought they'd leave him in because, okay, we won't foul on the last shot. We, again, botched that up, took an early shot, Dan did. But, again, we come out in the second half just firing those threes, and I'm going, oh, why? Keep doing it after you go, in the first half as bad as the Aggies did with 3 out of 15. But again, they finally got Funk with one, got Ashworth with one, Bairstow got one in the second half again. Then Scholga got those 2 big threes in a row, and that ends up being a lot of the difference. And James, you're right on with the other stuff, and we appreciate you calling in, James, as well. And always remember, we're going to be here tomorrow as well for another game day. And a couple people just recently have let me know they appreciate our post-game, pre-game. We love you. You're going to get information before the game tomorrow at 3, before it starts at 4 on Channel 2 for the game tomorrow. And then immediately after, John and I will be on. Jalen will join with us as well. We hope James will join. Other people can call 753-KVNU. And also, of course, John Russell watches the text line. I'm surprised that we're not seeing the players moving in yet. Anything quick on the text line?
We do, but before I get to that, just kind of Joe Lenardi has already updated his bracketology just here recently in just the last couple minutes. As we heard from Jalen and we've heard from a lot of people, Utah State no longer is the last 4 in, but is the last 4 buys. And you know, granted, there's going to be a lot of shuffling. There are championship games to be played, but right now he's got Utah State as the number 11 seed playing St. Mary's in the opening round, which would be an interesting matchup.
Rematch of a year ago with the game we probably should have won at home and got the foul call to end up ruining the game.
Maybe we get a little revenge, get a chance to do that. But, you know, I like that matchup. I like the fact that, you know, they play a similar game. But, yeah, still a lot of things to be played out, and so we'll see what happens. But
I just don't think that now we're the 18 net team, and now you've beaten another Quad 1 team in Boise. You've done it on a neutral floor, not on your home floor. There's got to be some things there. Committee's got to look at it and say, hey, you know, they beat 2 teams and knocked them out of the Quad 1, 2 as well. You know, that basically would have been Quad 1 wins as well. And look at that. We won 7 games in a row now at the end of the season. You know, the only one we haven't climbed yet is San Diego State in the league, and maybe we do it and go automatically, and then we might even move up even higher.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the frustrating things is really you've got, you know, you have to have some sort of matrix, some sort of system that you can work with, but you've got to look at how a team is playing now. Weber State, who's considered one of the bad losses for Utah State, they were playing a lot better as the season wore on.
Made their semifinals of their tournament and lost in double overtime or single overtime.
So they're playing better. Utah State, like you said, 7 wins in a row and impressive wins. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about nail biters. You know, we're talking about going to Vegas and just rolling them.
Won by an average of 14 or 15 points in all of the winning streak here.
Yeah, beat Boise at home.
Come back against Nevada. We come back against Boise State. Showed that we really can finish basketball games. Prodigy Brewing, one of our sponsors as well. Remember, they have food tomorrow, and with the games on probably all around on their TVs. And that's on Center Street, the only brew pub downtown. Also, Jerrick's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jerrick's. We appreciate them as being sponsors on our game day. Anything else in the text line?
Yeah, actually, lots of texts, and I'll keep going until you
I'm still watching.
Let me know. First of all, we'll start off with 5634, and Boise State chokes again, or once again. Love it.
Should have pulled out that football game when we had that last drive going. Well, that would have been the key for this year to get that done.
Oh, would have been great. 6543. Boise continues their annual season-ending choke routine. They don't deserve an NCAA bid, and neither does Nevada. Does this mean Mountain
I would
West
say
Boise
is better than Nevada because Nevada really to lose at Wyoming, to lose at home to UNLV, they don't. I don't think they deserve a spot. Or now they're talking about them being a play-in game team.
No, Boise, love them or hate them, I think they deserve it. They've got some good wins. They beat Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. They beat Utah State. Did they beat San Diego State?
Split.
So they split.
That's the reason why they were the 2nd seed and we were 3rd.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So, they deserve it. They're a 3-bid team. We're not a 4-bid team. I'm surprised Nevada is still, in the hunt there, but, I don't have
Nevada
the magic computer.
beat San Diego State and did beat Boise State and did beat us and all that. So they do have those wins on their way.
From 9315, the Rice Weiner Company for Boise was in full production tonight.
And again, I'm glad he slapped the floor and finally got put out. He was asking for flops. They called their guy for a flop. The foul there was Aiken was definitely pushed down to the ground on that rebound. I don't know why he got so mad about that one.
And the frustrating thing was on that flop that was called against Boise, they took a basket away from Idle Rock. He did not travel. That looked clean to me.
That's absolutely right.
But 93-15 did continue on. The refs were rough for both sides today. There were questionable calls that went both ways.
You know, like Jalen said before the game, usually as a player, you get this time of the year, and it's not called as tough as it is. And this one is called very, very close.
They called it very tight. It was quite frustrating. 83-87, 2 game balls to RJ and Max. Amazing second half. And absolutely, that's what we've been talking about. On one hand, yesterday you have Ashworth and Funk just going.
And
nuts,
here they come.
And here they go.
Here they come in with Ashworth and Funk and the coach. And so we will start with Ryan Odom, and he'll give a comment.
Okay, joining me on the.
We have a caller waiting. Hang on or call back, caller.
Ryan Odom. The student athletes are Stephen Ashworth and Max Shulgo. Coach, your opening statement, please.
Just a great game all around. Certainly we're really fortunate to win. Boise really came after us hard in that first half. I mean, they were really impressive, and we're blowing up a lot of our ball screens, and we're playing a physical game. We're doing a really good job of getting the ball down low, in and near the basket. Really just playing tough and physical, and they clearly were the aggressor, throughout the half. Forcing us to make some turnovers. We had 10 turnovers in the first half. Rush shooting, just a lot of different plays, and that they were making that were putting us in uncomfortable positions. And we were very fortunate to be where we were at halftime. And so as we looked up at the scoreboard and walked in at halftime, we just talked about all the things that we've talked about all season, just the discipline, the execution. Handling physicality, the composure that you have to have, to be, a great team or a winning team, and then just how connected we have to be. We weren't as connected as we needed to be in that first half, and Boise State had a lot to do with that. And so we just encouraged our guys at halftime to be us in a lot of ways, give one another space. Try to work, to get open harder, be tough with the ball when you first catch it. All the things that these guys know, but were getting away from us, in the first half. And I think, once we began to settle into the second half, close the gap a little bit, our guys began to feel, some juice there, and you kind of saw how the ending went. It was obviously a positive ending for us, and these two guys were huge, as was RJ. Dan and Trevin had rough first halves, and we talked a lot to them at halftime about stepping up, and I thought both of them answered, and really our entire team answered in that second half, because we were kind of down and out, and it was looking bleak, but really proud of the effort. These guys had a goal over the summer to, compete for a championship in the Mountain West. And we can't say enough about the coaches and the teams. I know I talked about it yesterday, but it's a really competitive league. And it's a league that needs to be celebrated around the country. And certainly, we're happy to be a part of it, and happy to be a representative in the championship game tomorrow. That was a goal of these guys over the summer. That's why they lifted weights. That's why they worked so hard to become a connected group, and they worked on their individual games, and just really proud of the effort that they put in today. But, I think they always feel like, hey, we haven't done anything yet. There's always something around the corner for this team, and certainly, we're excited about the opportunity to compete against a great team, tomorrow.
Okay, questions for our student athletes?
Jacob Nielsen, KSL.com. Question for Steven. I noticed when RJ got called for that travel in the second half, and it's kind of chaotic in the building, you just had this look of calmness plastered on your face, and you muttered something on your breath. It sounded like, we got this or something. Do you remember that moment, and what was kind of going through your mind, and how were you able to be so confident in that moment?
Yeah, I think that throughout the entire season we've had different opportunities and experiences where things like that have happened, and obviously I do not believe that was a travel there, and RJ didn't either, but at that moment we couldn't do anything to change that. And I knew that we had the momentum going the right direction, and so I told RJ, hey, control what we can control, and we'll live with the results. And so that was our focus going out throughout the rest of those next few minutes, is controlling the things that we could control. And I think that our guys did a great job of doing that, staying composed, and we got the result that we wanted because of that cool, calm, and collected feeling that we all had.
Okay, let's go here, and then we'll go there.
Jay Drew, Deseret News, Salt Lake City. Max, when Coach talks about be us, as he said in the locker room, what does that mean to the players? How would you describe that?
I think just play how we play. We know that we need to move the ball, pass the ball to each other, cut, just help each other. There is no teams don't win with one guy. It's 5 players on the court and everyone else on the bench, and just move around, pass the ball, and eventually we'll find our shot. So, yeah.
Patrick Mayhorn with the Ag Ship. Stephen, I've asked you a couple times this year about what it means to say, you're playing Aggie basketball. What does this game say about Aggie basketball?
Champions always answer. That's Aggie basketball. You're going to have games where there's runs that are made. You're going to have games where the ball isn't dropping. You're turning it over. You're not playing aggressively. You're kind of on your heels, and that's what we saw a little bit in the first half. And in that second half, we saw Aggie basketball. We were aggressive. We were playing free. We were going for it. We had no fear. We were taking the shots that we should take, and then trusting in each other when we needed to. And I think that that's Aggie basketball to its core. Is a big word that I think about is trust, and that's what this team has in every single guy, 1 through 15. And so when we can trust each other, that's when we're playing our best.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Sean Harrison with the Herald Journal. Max, can you talk a little bit about those three-pointers? It seemed like you guys had gotten the momentum going a little bit, but when you hit those back-to-back three-pointers, was it just the flow of the offense? You feeling good at that point? Because, it seemed like you had a really big second half.
Yeah, definitely flow of the offense. The open man is the go-to man in our team, so those times it was me, and I was able to knock him down, obviously. And, just flow of the offense.
Jason Walker, Cache Valley Daily. Sean kind of stole my question, but I'll ask you kind of about the defense. Specifically you played on Max Rice, holding him to 0 for 6. You also had Shaver going 4 of 13. Just talk about the defense you guys played on their guards today, where they had pretty poor shooting games.
We know he's a really good shooter. So we had to guard him really anywhere, wherever he received the ball. We had to have a hand up, force him to drive, and then force him to make a decision out of there. So that's what we did, just run him off the three-point line.
Okay.
Daniel Olson, the Hive Sports. Steve, we've seen, I had noticed that you show a lot of emotion, and I know we talked about the calmness, but it seems like you're always pumping up the crowd. And how does the crowd, how do you feed off of that? And I know you talked about being level-headed, but how do you feed off the crowd? How does that help you?
Yeah, no doubt. I think there's definitely a balance between all of those things, making sure that you're still focused on, the main thing, and the main thing is out there on the court. But the crowd can have a huge effect on the outcome of games, and we know that from what we experience every single home game at the Spectrum, and we take a lot of pride in being able to call that our home court. And so when the fans are showing up the way that they are down here in Las Vegas, it just adds that extra element that we're able to play for something more than ourselves. We talk a lot about making sure that we leave the jersey in a better place. And when you become an Aggie, it's not just about yourself. It's about all the people that have come before you and the people that are going to come after you and the people that are here supporting us as well. And so when they're getting into the game, you can just feel that. You feel like you're playing for a bigger purpose, and the guys are locked in. And I think you can see that on the defensive end, especially when the crowd is getting into it, especially when we get a stop and then we're running and then we're playing fast. And I think that's when we see we're at our best and we're at our most free and we're having a lot of fun. And so I take pride in making sure that we get the crowd involved and make them know that they're a big piece to what we're able to accomplish and that we appreciate them. And so I think that's kind of my perspective on making sure that I keep a level head, but also getting the crowd involved as well.
We have time for one final question for the student athletes.
Jake Ellis, the Utah Statesman. For both of you, just, RJ seemed kind of frustrated with a foul call in the first half, and then just responded really well in the second half. You talked about the travel response too, but just how proud of you of RJ in this game and his ability to respond there?
I mean, super proud. He's been around for a long time. This is his 5th year, so he has a lot of experience, and I'm sure he plays out there with complete calmness. He knows what to do. He knows the system really well. Obviously, he's been with Coach Odom for a long time. So just staying composed, whatever's going on with the game, and just staying level-headed.
I would just add one thing. I'm just happy for RJ. Proud of RJ, but just really happy for RJ that he's able to show what he can do, because he's a special player and he's been showing up for us big time down the stretch of this season.
Mark Ziegler, San Diego Union Tribune. You guys obviously played San Diego State twice. They beat you twice. I think they're the only Mountain West team to beat you in your building. Now you get a 3rd shot at them. How excited are you, and how much do you want a piece of them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's the next game on our schedule, and it's a big game. It's the championship game, and it's what we've been working for all summer. We say it every single breakdown that we want to be playing for the Mountain West Championship, and we know how good this league is and how much of an accomplishment that is already. But we're not just happy to be here. We have something still to prove, and we know how great they are, and we know that we got to play our best basketball because, like you said, they came into our building and beat us, but we're really excited that at 3 o'clock we get 40 more minutes to go out and try to prove ourselves and, once again, as we say, play Aggie basketball.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. We'll dismiss you. Take questions for our coach, please.
Good job, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Just if you're tuning in, 72-62, Aggies beat Boise State. Coach Odom now taking questions after the game.
You got it.
So obviously there's a lot of factors that go into this victory, but certainly kind of the biggest one felt like there was a stretch in the second half. You forced 10 straight misses from Boise State, and that's kind of when you flipped the game and you took the lead. You feel like that was the turning point in this game that helped you guys win?
Yeah, definitely the balance of the two, right? You've got to score baskets to win a basketball game. And certainly we were beginning to play well offensively. And I think, to your point, initially in that start of the second half, we got a couple of stops and we're able to get out and go. And, we're at our best when we're able to do that. Score stop is what we call it. And also it can become stop score. And, I thought our guys did a really nice job. They were hurting us inside, in that first half. And so we challenged our big guys to fight more and fight around more. And, I thought our guards did a really nice job throughout the game of making their guards have to take tough shots. And they're great shot makers. And baskets were hard to come by. And that's what happens when you get in these situations, at the end of the conference season and you're in your conference tournament. Both teams, always know one another so well. And there's so many great coaches in this league, and they're well scouted. And, it's about players making plays. And I thought our guys did a really nice job of staying composed and forcing, hard shots. We talked a lot about keeping our chest in front of them and then fighting the post and then finishing with a rebound. And, that's the name of the game. On defense, play stingy on defense. And they certainly did that to us, and, we, from an offensive perspective, we just try to, continue to encourage our guys to believe that our run's coming, even though we're struggling at this particular, we're 1 for 9, to start the game from 3. Well, okay. Maybe that's because they're playing better defense, and they're on top of us right now. We need to do something better. And certainly that was the case. And, providing proper space, trying to get downhill, and then stopping appropriately. We always talk about that for our guys. But, it all started with our defense. Any championship that's won, is going to be because, you have a solid defensive team.
Okay.
Coach, while you guys were waiting for that run to come, especially in the first half, like you said, a poor start shooting, but it seemed like Sean and to an extent Dan were getting down low and finishing some really tough baskets when you guys needed them. Can you talk about that contribution?
Yeah, I mean, Sean was huge. Sean was flying around, I mean, he got hurt in our, last regular season game and, has been able to recover. He only had limited practice, leading into the conference tournament. And that's kind of how it is nowadays. Like, everybody's kind of banged up, this time of year. And to see him flying up and down the court, in the last 2 days, was huge. And certainly he means so much to our team. Dan, is huge for our team. You saw how he played last night. And tonight he had an uncharacteristic half. And I challenged him at halftime. And probably wasn't happy, with me challenging him at halftime. But I knew that he would respond appropriately, as did Trevin. Trevin just lost his confidence a little bit. It's like, we can't do that. You're too good, this time of year to lose your confidence. You got to go for it. And certainly they were big factors, in the game. Another factor, too, both teams were in foul trouble. Dagenhart's having to go in and out. They got several guys. Shaver's got fouls. Steven, has fouls the entire time. I think we had 4 guys with 3 at one point, and then Taylor gets his 4th. And so that's tough, when you're having to fight through that. But our guys did.
Okay, over here.
Coach, it's almost midnight.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get out of here. Are you ready?
You're going to have to play a game, or your team's going to have to be back here at, in basically 12 hours. So much of what the NCAA has talked about in the last few years is student-athlete welfare. How does this qualify as student-athlete welfare when you're making student-athletes play again in, 13 hours, 15 hours, after already playing 2 games?
You're giving me the toughest question possible, aren't you, right now? I mean, you're not pulling any punches, right? Certainly we're members of the Mountain West, and, we're just blessed to be able to play, in this tournament and certainly in this championship. And so I'm sure San Diego State feels the same way as we do. And I know our guys aren't going to complain about it. I know their guys aren't going to complain about it, because there's a lot of other teams in our league and all of these leagues that would love to be in this situation right now, playing for a conference championship. And so if it's 1 a.m, they play.
Let's take one final question. Yes.
Coach, Utah State's played San Diego State in the championship for the past 5 years. This is your first time being a part of that.
Yep.
How exciting is that? 1, for the matchup, and then 2, obviously, for being right there with facing one of the goals that your team made earlier this season.
Yeah, it's huge for our team. I'm happy for our guys. I really am. I'm happy that they have the opportunity, that they seeked, and worked for, all summer. And while understanding there's no guarantees, right? And there's no guarantees in life. Our guys understand that. They're going to have to play really, really well in order to have a chance, tomorrow to beat a great, San Diego State team. They've had an awesome season, this year. And, I think, for us, our guys are excited. If you were in the locker room just now, you'd see that they're excited, but they understand, there's more work to do. They want to go for it. And I know San Diego State feels the same way.
Thank you.
There's Coach Ryan Odom. They'll probably bring in Coach Rice here real quickly, and we'll try to get his opening comment as we continue on game day. Aggies win by 10 over Boise State. And again, it's a great one on postgame. We'd love to hear from you at 753-KVNU, the phone number, or the text line 339-0321. We'll be right back.
It's never too late or too cold to get rid of that old vehicle. Now is the time to earn extra cash by calling DD Auto and Salvage. Let them pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto.
Coach Rice is already in with his players, so we'll get back to DD Auto and Salvage here in just a moment. It looks like that they're sitting down a couple of Boise players. It looks like maybe Milner and Whiting, the two that
joining
play off
us,
the bench.
we have Coach Leon Rice and
we'll hear Coach
athletes
Rice's
Tyson
opening comment.
Dagenhart and Jace Whiting. Coach, your opening statement, please.
Well, hard-fought game. Utah State's a great team, and it's going to be a heck of a championship tomorrow. We got a lot of great teams in this league, and really proud of our guys, the way we battled. You got to make some shots, and we missed some free throws that kind of was at a crucial point when they built a little bit of a lead. But always proud of our guys, the way we battled, and we did a great job in that first half. They understood the game plan, executed it perfectly, and we knew that Utah State would respond. Like I said, they're a great team, and they made some good shots in the second half. And it's a game of making some shots, and they were able to do that.
There's his comment, and I don't think we are interested in what the players said, but hey, 4 straight times they did make one of 2 free throws at a key time there where they could have made, kept the lead and a little momentum away from the Aggies.
Well, clearly for them to only shoot 63%, 14 of 22 from the line, and the Aggies much better, 21 of 26, and of those 5 misses, 2 were by Ashworth
on the technical. Yep. All right, now we'll be back with more from you on the text line 435-339-0321. Phone calls as well. Game day continues, and the Aggies are going to the championship game in the Mountain West again for the 4th time in 5 years.
It's never too late or too cold to get rid of that old vehicle. Now is the time to earn extra cash by calling DD Auto and Salvage. Let them pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy and fast to get rid of your junker vehicles by paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204. That's 787-1204 today. See store for details.
Spend less time at the post office. With Formax and Mint mailing systems from Les Olson IT, you can quickly, accurately, and easily process your outgoing mail and even save on postage. Fold your documents, stuff and seal your envelopes, print addresses, weigh and measure to apply proper postage, all with the click of a button. With multiple model options available, you're sure to find a Formax solution and Mint mailing device that perfectly fits your business needs. Les Olson IT.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Elements Restaurant has something new and exciting to share. If you like barbecue, you're going to love Thursday's Brews and Barbecue at Elements. Mouth-watering smoked brisket, perfectly seasoned and slow-cooked for hours. Your taste buds will say thank you. Try the brisket sandwich served with coleslaw or brisket plate complete with Southwest mac and cheese and coleslaw. Don't miss Brews and Barbecue for lunch or for dinner with live in-house music every Thursday at Elements Restaurant next to Spring Hill Suites on the south end of Logan, or call 750-5171 for reservations.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by Alpine Home Medical on News Talk KVNU.
Postgame, pregame, covering the Aggies tonight, and Utah State wins. It'll be on Channel 2, CBS's national network. It'll be a 3 o'clock game Vegas time, 4 o'clock for us here in Logan, so game day tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And so John Russell here with me, but 753 KVNU, this is really your show. And Tom called a few minutes before, and then the coach and the players showed up. So, Tom, you had something to tell us because I think you were there in Vegas tonight.
Well, I hate to sound like a whiner, but I'm going to whine a little bit. Okay. That reffing crew, I'm not saying that they were biased against us, but I will say that they were smothering. They wanted to be, I felt like, the center of attention in this game, and they prevented either team from getting a rhythm. That was a really kind of a frustrating game to watch. Obviously fun that the Aggies won, but especially the first half, I just thought they were inserting themselves way too much. They were doing it inconsistently, and for the Aggies to battle against that, I thought was impressive. And that also made the game, I think, a lot more exhausting. It seemed like our guys were gassed at the end, but they just pushed through it, which was impressive, really impressive.
Last night was a similar. I thought that last night's game was very unevenly officiated. And to be honest, Tom, there's 2 officials in that group that want you to notice they're there. There's one other official who hardly made a call tonight, if you noticed in the game. So it's really the 2 guys that did most of that tonight. Okay, now out of that, what did you think of the game tonight for the Aggies?
Well, it was just gritty from start to finish. It took 3 quarters of the game to take the lead, and they just never backed off. They got that kind of slow start, and with as poor shooting as we had, they just didn't break. It was really a tough mental win, and hopefully they get some good rest tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to need it. Hey, just comment on the Aggie turnout for the fans in the herd.
Sounded great, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great crowd. Boise had a good crowd, too. That made it a lot of fun, and it was a great atmosphere.
I've got to ask you, sitting here watching it on TV, I actually saw a couple of UNLV fans sitting in with the Boise fans. What was were people rooting for the Aggies? Was it an evenly split crowd? What are your thoughts?
It was pretty evenly split. We had some New Mexico fans right behind us, and they were very gracious in pulling for us.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was just, you guys have been there. It's just a fun atmosphere with the different fan bases coming together.
And San Diego State does have a lot of followers, too, so tomorrow they'll have a lot of people there. Yeah, they do have a lot of people that always come. Tom, are you going tomorrow then?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, call in after the game and tell us what it was like, okay?
All right. Take care, guys.
Okay, appreciate it. Jeff is our next one up. Hold, Jeff, before you pause, before you do your thing, hold on. Yeah, I can hear you, Jeff. Hang on. I need to pause for station identification.
Following the big stories, News Talk KVNU, Logan, proud to be locally owned and operated by the Cache Valley Media Group.
All righty. Again, Aggie Call is your show. Jeff, go ahead. Appreciate you calling.
Yeah, hi. I have a couple comments. Stephen Ashworth is a stud, by the way.
Absolutely.
Unreal season he's had. But what I want to ask you guys,
he passed 1,000 career points in the game tonight, Jeff.
I was coming home late from Salt Lake on a business call, and I got on 92.3, supposedly our Aggie station, and they didn't have the game on. I came out at halftime, and there was no game on. Can you explain that?
Well, I wish we could. Al and I were talking about that ourselves. Very unfortunate that, here we are. There's a lot of good Aggie fans that cannot watch the game. They have, situations like yours where they're driving. They just may be working. They can't watch it at work, and they have no options.
But 92.3 is such a bad signal anyhow, and Utah State seems to live. Jeff, this is a Utah State athletic department problem, and it's an administration problem at Utah State University that whoever's in charge besides athletics needs to stand up and tell the marketing people that own the rights, that have bought them and paying Utah State a lot of money for them, you got to tell them this is not good enough. An app is not good enough. The signal it's not good enough. Our group has tried to propose new proposals, and they continue to not look at any of the proposals. And Jerry Bovee says he's going to try to change this thing. They've got to change this thing radio-wise. I'm sitting here. I could care less if I'm not doing the games anymore on the radio, but the game should be on KVNU so people can hear them in the Valley, driving back and forth to games, driving in and out of the Valley. You got to have that, and it's not happening, and it's because of Learfield, the company that owns the marketing rights to Utah State's athletic department.
Am I still on?
Yep.
Well, what is so frustrating, like I grew up in Deweyville, you all know, and every Aggie game I ever listened to on football and basketball was on the radio. So I'm a radio junkie. But this is so bunk, and then the presentation, everything is so terrible. Just, anyway.
Yeah, and John is the one who told me they weren't on the radio tonight. I have no idea about that and anything. I just know that I'd like to do some pregame and some postgame, and we'll put the games on here, and I think we can make it work if they just, again, work with us. But Learfield doesn't want to work with our ownership after we had them for years and years and paid them money. Now they seem to think that they got to do whatever, and they're dictating, and it's not right. So.
Well, anyway, my last comment is it's just pathetic that, some people don't have CBS, FD Sports, or whatever. And I love to listen to games on the radio, and it's just pathetic. That's all I'll say.
Okay. But, Jeff, that was a nice win tonight, wasn't it?
Oh, unbelievable. Like Stephen Ashworth, I can't say enough about that guy.
Yep.
And the whole team, the way we pass and we move the ball, I mean, it's so fun to watch.
Similar to a team that I remember played back for Rod Tuller at one time, right, Jeff?
Yes, you're exactly right. Like, we moved the ball.
You
we all
did.
hit threes.
Yep.
We had kind of the same team.
Yep, and you had
we went to the NCAA tournament.
You
We
bet.
should have won our first game, but
Yep.
anyway.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you calling.
Thank you guys for the show, but it just makes me so mad because I'm a radio guy.
Yeah, and I am too. That's why I've been doing
and
it for
I
51
can't
years.
hear
or whatever.
an Aggie game on the radio in Logan. That is pathetic.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And it wasn't even on tonight. That was the big problem. All right, thanks a lot, Jeff. Stanley's been waiting nice enough to get on our show. Stanley, go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. So I'm just calling from Vegas. I'm down actually in the pep band for the basketball games. And, I mean, first half I was kind of worried, but, we were able to pull it out in the second half, and so grateful for an Aggie win as always.
That's great. How was it to play for this basketball team this year?
It's honestly been so much fun. The way that they can get the crowd riled up, just adds energy to, what we can hopefully provide to them during timeouts, during media breaks. And so it's been a lot of fun this season.
It was a lot of fun, being able to watch it, here on TV, but being there is even better. One of the interesting things was one of the announcers was kind of getting on Ashworth.
Steve Lapis was after Ashworth for trying to get the crowd going all the time. Yeah.
How much, from your standpoint, being there, being at games, being in the band, how much of a difference maker is that for you? To see Ashworth get excited, kind of raise his hands and try and get everybody fired up.
It's honestly been so much fun. Like, especially, where we're seated in the spectrum, we're able to, kind of be with the student body. And so they always turn and kind of look towards us anyway. And, whenever we can kick off a Scotsman, right, when a timeout happens and squeeze that in, it's always a good time, helps kind of get the rest of the students all riled up.
I saw that video last night, the guys doing the Scotsman with you down there, so they probably did it with you after the game tonight too, right?
Yep, they sure did.
The team and everybody there.
And I know. Yep, the team and everyone there, and it's awesome because the football team will do the same thing when it's their season. They'll do the fight song with us, and so it's a great crowd to play for.
Well, Stanley, we appreciate you calling. Have a good time. Get a little bit of sleep tonight. That's early tomorrow for you guys down there in Vegas. But again, we know we'll see you on TV on CBS National TV tomorrow. Okay.
Oh yeah, and we'll play loud for everyone.
Okay, Stanley, thanks for calling again. 753-KVNU is our number. We've got texters at 435-339-0321. A lot of them are there. We've got the Aggie postgame show on here on a radio station you can hear in Logan. Again, with covering the Aggies as much as we can, as much as we're allowed, and we're here to do it for you and let you know where you can get it on TV. And so it will be on Channel 2 television tomorrow, CBS National TV tomorrow when the Aggies play at 4. Game day will be on at 3. We'll be on after the game. And the Aggies won by 10 over Boise State, 72-62. And second half comeback, they outscored them 44-26 in the second half to win it. And we'll be right back.
Hi, this is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. At White Pine, we value compassion, integrity, and service. We are committed to serving you and treating your family as our family. We will be here when you need us most, to listen, to help, and to provide exactly what your circumstances require. At White Pine, we promise to dedicate our time and attention to you and your family. We invite you to come by and meet us. We're confident you'll feel a difference.
Hi, this is Bob Larson with LSS Insurance. Feeling overwhelmed by Social Security and Medicare? Come to our free seminar the third Thursday, March 16th at 7 p.m. We'll provide all the information you need. Starting Medicare and planning for retirement shouldn't be stressful. Let us help. We'll help you navigate all the ins and outs. Call 752-9493. Come see us the third Thursday, March 16th at 7 p.m. Call 752-9493. Walk-ins are welcome.
Girls, insist he take you to Jarek's. Picking out your wedding ring is an experience you will never forget. Come to a place where the mood is right and the setting is perfect for romance. Jarek's Fine Jewelry in Logan. The perfect collection of memorable designs, classic creation, and modern marvels. If you want an intimate, romantic experience you will never forget, then insist he takes you to Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's at 930 North Main in Logan.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
Prodigy Brewing on Center Street is looking to hire motivated team members to join their talented executive chef, Dustin Kirby. This position in Prodigy Brewing's kitchen will help create an amazing dining experience for their brew pub customers. If you are experienced or are willing to learn in a fast-paced environment, visit Prodigy Brewing today, located at 25 West Center Street in Logan. Prodigy Brewing is proud to offer competitive pay, employee perks, a great environment, and more.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by Primrose Home Care on News Talk KVNU.
All right, Al Lewis, John Russell still here, and again, Utah State's win is 72-62. Again, recapping the game real quickly for you. If you were not able to watch it on TV or obviously couldn't hear it here locally, as we found out, the game was a tie at 16 all early. I mean, Boise had the lead early by 6 at 8-2, and they were still up 6 at 14-8, and then the Aggies tied it on a Bairstow reverse layup, and he got the free throw as well. 16 all, and then Boise took it out on eventually a 6-0 run to an 8-point lead. They led by 9 at one time, 31-22, and they led by 8 at the end of the first half, 36-28. And then we come out, and we're shooting threes and not making them, but they're not getting anything either. And finally, Funk got one to make it 31 to 36-31, a three-pointer. Shaver drove back, and then Ashworth make a three-pointer. We're back to 4. Shaver drove again and made it a 6-point game. And then Shulga drove, scored, and got the free throw as well, cut it down to a 3-point game. It's down to a 1-point game as Bairstow hit a 3. And then Utah State eventually tied the game at 49 all, Ashworth hitting the technical free throw on the flop that was called. And then the next series, R.J. Idlerock fouled and makes 2 free throws with that flop call and all of that, I guess it was. Well, the technical was by Ashworth. Then they got the ball and actually got the 4th foul on Degenhardt. And then R.J. was able to make the 2 free throws, and that put the Aggies in the lead, and they never looked back. 1 lead change in this game is all there was, and it was only tied twice. This whole game was, because then Utah State outscored them the rest of the way. After it's 51-49, Aggies took the lead. Utah State outscored them then, 21-13 the rest of the game to win the game by 72-62.
Well, it was nice to see the Aggies once they got the momentum in the second half and were able to get going. Once they broke into the lead, they stayed with it, continued to play well, and really, I think you could see they took the heart and soul out of Boise. They just didn't have the fight after it.
No. Yep, there for a while. And those 10 straight defensive stops that were talked about with the coach were terrific during that period of time when the Aggies, again, did put them on. All they got was a few free throws once in a while. What about, let's go back to the text line, brought to you by, again, Riverwoods Conference Center. Every event can be special. It can be welcomed at their grand ballroom, small reading rooms when you get to the summertime, the outdoor courtyards available, corporate events, holiday parties, and, of course, they also have great food at Elements Restaurant from Riverwoods, one of our sponsors.
We kind of cut off right before, as I was talking about this, 83-87, saying 2 game balls going to RJ and Max. But you can talk about the other guys, and I'll get into that
But they
in a
deserve
second.
it out of this
Absolutely.
for sure.
0061. Ashworth foul said number 2. I think they meant number 3. Oh, number 2 with 32 seconds, and then
he got his
3
third
with 3 seconds left.
Yes.
And Boise, 0061 said Boise did not attack Ashworth in the second half. That is just ridiculous.
He was on Shaver,
coaching.
though, and Shaver was the guy who was trying to do some stuff.
But I think, again, it was other players helping him out so that he wasn't going one-on-one. But, I agree, 0061, they should have gone after him from the get-go. 0700, what grit from this team. We stepped up our defense in the second half, and I loved RJ showing some fire and emotion. It's good to see how we can fight back even through rough officiating in a physical game. I love this team. Talk about physical. San Diego State better be ready for it.
Yep, they are physical. They will be out to try to intimidate the Aggies. They really intimidated San Jose today. They didn't play well against Colorado State. That's the worst thing that happened in this tournament. Yeah. Because then they really came back with resolve today, and they showed what they can do. They defensively clamped down on San Jose. San Jose did out-rebound them. Yeah. That's about the only thing San Jose does and does very well. But they really shut down Amari Moore and made it really tough. And again,
they didn't have anything else to go with.
We have not shot in the 2 games. I was looking at it, and I had the sheet here just a minute ago. Against San Diego State this year in the 2 games, we shot 30 48.5% at home with that second half comeback almost getting there. We shot 47.5 down there, but remember there was, 17-18-0 run when Seiko was making those threes that put the game away down there because they shot 50-something% against us, or close to it, 48% down there. Here in Logan, they shot 40% against the Aggies.
You know, the thing, looking at tonight's game, one of the big things that everybody talked about, Aggies have 5 guys averaging double figures. Boise, they have 5 as well. But tonight what was interesting, we had 4 guys scoring in double figures, but 2 of them that didn't were Funk and Akin. You know, it just goes to show
our second and third leading scorers.
Yeah, it just goes to show how good this team can be and how diverse they can be, and a good job defensively. Only 3 players for Boise got into double figures.
And they were 14 points is all, so nobody really went off in a lot of ways.
Yeah. A couple more comments here from the text line. 5464 had a couple comments. So John Rothstein of CBS Sports said after the loss to San Jose, USU was for sure out of the NCAA tournament. Tonight's win doesn't matter. I guess the Aggies better win tomorrow. No, I think everybody's saying they're in now.
I would think all of them. So somebody said tonight the Aggies are out if they lose this game, the championship
said after
game?
the loss to San Jose.
Who said that?
John Rothstein.
He must have done it on their postgame after. He's one of the guys that was on there. I thought they picked the Aggies to win the game, both of those guys, before the game.
Everybody, and then they joked that's not a good sign.
They were in bad trouble. Yeah.
Again, 54-64 Rice postgame interview, another classless performance, complaining about the refs even when he's off the court.
So we heard the opening comment, and we had to go through all the players, so we wanted to give you a chance to call in and do things on your show, but I'm sure he did want back and probably ask about it, and I'm sure he went on it. He does complain continually more than anybody as a coach.
Which I think after a while the officials get tired of it and turn him off.
Well, they had to move him back in this coaching box and things like that. So,
but again, follows up 54-64 by saying, meanwhile, Odom talks about how tough Boise and the league is this year. Class act. And then finally...
That's why he's a finalist for that, not only great coach, but also for being a humanitarian on and off the field, and that's what Coach Odom is.
And finally, from 53-54, this game reminded me of the club championship at Logan Regional when Al beat Pete Randall. You'll have to share that story.
Oh yeah, I bet that was. I can't remember. I don't think I had to come back in that. I think I was kind of right there. It's just that I made a lot more. I made many more birdies than the other guy than Pete Randall did, who was a great player and won the club championship like 9 or 10 times at Logan. But I did have a few more mistakes along the way and he made some good plays. Afterwards, his son told me that his dad said, "I never played a better round of golf that day and didn't win." Yeah. So that was my only claim to glory. I've lost it a couple of times too. So.
Well, you're our comeback kid here, Al. So we'll take you.
I'm way past the days of being able to compete for that now, though.
There you go.
That was nice of somebody somebody's got to be really old to remember that. That was back before I was 30. So
yeah. Figure out who 53-54 is. So that's it on our text line.
We'll give you one last chance to text in, call in, 753-KVNU, or again, the text line is 435-339-0321. I forget it's 1:15 in the morning, or 1:16 in the morning. People probably, again, not very many people. The real diehards are still there with us, and we love you. And we'll be back on tomorrow. Actually, we'll be back today, this afternoon at 3 o'clock. For game day. I got a lot of work still to do. All right, we'll be back after this timeout. As we have learned this year, viruses can travel through the air, causing an illness. Most virus droplets fall to the ground, but smaller particles may remain in the air longer. Now more than ever, you need clean air in your home. Let Advanced Heating and AC install an air filtration system in your home with HEPA filters. Dust, pollen, and more are floating in the air in your home. Get rid of them with a system that promotes proper ventilation and filtration. Learn how by calling Advanced Heating and AC, and it's online advancedheating-ac.com.
This year, celebrate your anniversary with diamond jewelry from S.E. Needham Jewelers. Adorned in diamonds, she will feel elegant and cherished. Choose from a large selection of diamond bands, diamond pendants, and diamond earrings. Also, you'll enjoy a beautiful selection of diamonds mounted in rose gold. We price our diamond jewelry with an integrity price guarantee so that you can be assured the best possible value, with 12 months interest-free financing available. For the people and occasions that matter most, S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Don't get caught without power to your home or business. This is Tyler with Golden Spike Electric. We offer Generac backup generators to keep your home or business warm, avoiding frozen pipes, loss of valuable food, or even a flooded basement. Golden Spike Electric is certified and factory trained, so you know it will be installed right and properly maintained. Contact Golden Spike Electric so you'll never be without power again. Online at gsegenerators.com. We also service other brands, Golden Spike Electric and Generac. Power you can count on.
Hello, I'm Daryl, the guy who started Daryl's Appliance back in the 1970s. A lot has changed in 50 years, but not the great people of Cache Valley. We love our customers and we thank you for keeping us in business.
Hello, I'm Daryl's son Jeff. We have 5 factory-trained technicians, which means that we will have your appliances performing at their best. Our parts department has most of the parts that our techs need to repair your appliance on the first visit. Daryl's Appliance, open till 6 weekdays and until 5 on Saturdays.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat is locally owned and operated inside the beautiful new Three Peaks Medical Plaza in North Logan. Expect the most cutting-edge techniques, qualified doctors, and friendly staff to ensure the highest quality patient care. The ENT providers have extensive training to properly treat ear, nose, and throat conditions for adults and children. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat serves all of northern Utah and southern Idaho, accepting most insurance products including SelectMed. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for appointments and details. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, located in North Logan and Providence.
More analysis of today's game. It's KVNU Game Day. Here's the voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis and John Russell.
And one last segment for you to get in texts or calls right now, 435-339-0321 for postgame Aggie call. And our phone number is 753-KVNU. One of my friends texted and said, every time we play San Diego State, I think of the San Diego chicken and our own KVNU chicken that we had a long time ago. That was a long time ago in the spectrum. That was before we ever played San Diego. And we had a guy who worked for the radio station who'd been in San Diego, and he said, hey, let's get a mascot. And Utah State, that was kind of the mascot before Big Blue in a lot of ways. We sent chicken to be in the tunnel there and making a lot of noise and having fun at games and stuff down through the years.
Why a chicken?
Because the San Diego chicken, this guy was from San Diego, and a lot of us didn't know too much about how popular the San Diego chicken was at that time. Yeah. I'm sure most people have heard of him and haven't heard of the KVNU chicken. Yeah, but we did have him for a while.
I actually saw the San Diego chicken in Tucson. He went to a Tucson Toros game, and this was a team that averaged probably about 1,500 in attendance every night, AAA baseball team, and the chicken showed up, and they had 9,500 people there. Mm-hmm. Just for the chicken.
Oh, okay.
Next night, bent down to about 1,500. So, hey, we got a few more comments here on the text line. 6021. We talk about Rice and what a hothead he is. We used to have the hothead, and I guess Musselman had himself a meltdown tonight.
I heard you just were telling me about that on the Arkansas. They got beat by Texas A&M. I think they had the lead in the first half. I think Arkansas.
Well, he was supposed to have that team really on the upswing. They've struggled this year, and I'll be honest, I don't care.
He's volatile. Yeah,
you hate seeing that. Mm-hmm. From 0061, and this is again. Why I like Coach Odom. Apparently, he did stop the student chant of Boise sucks. That's just class.
Well, see, and I heard that, and I said to you when I heard it, they shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. They don't need to do that at this point. And maybe he put his arms up or whatever at the time. That's good stuff.
And in reality, what that comes down to is that's fodder for next year. Mm-hmm. Utah State goes to play Boise. Hey, do you remember when they beat us down there? And you don't need any of that. And 5464 was being sarcastic about the comment about the loss to San Jose a few weeks ago, and the Aggies being out for sure. They're in, like I said, everybody. You look at Lenardi; they've got us not as the last 4 in, but the last 4 buys. You've got, most of the other prognosticators saying we're in. Ken Palm, we're up to, what did I say?
18, you said, and we were 18 net going in the day. Jason Walker it won't be updated usually till like tomorrow or something. Jason Walker looks at all the bracketology. He's got all this stuff watching, and he said there was like 50 or 60 of them out there, and about 48 of them had the Aggies already in. No matter what as of today, but I don't know if that made a difference on this game or not.
There are a couple of thoughts that I have at this point, and this is my own fault, and I think a lot of fans will do this. We're thinking about the NCAA. There's a huge game tomorrow. The Aggies have a chance to win a Mountain West championship, beat a team that's beaten them twice this year, and really go into the NCAA tournament with a lot of
with
momentum.
a head of steam. Yeah,
and so
and
big game.
well, you can hear the Stephen Atsworth's comments. You know,
They
the
don't
number
talk
one thing,
about
the
it.
number one thing they want is the championship of the
Exactly.
conference. You know, and the rest of it will be gravy.
Yeah. So it's a big game tomorrow. You're looking at San Diego State team. We talked about Boise. Now they have 5 guys that are scoring in double figures. San Diego State only has 1.
But they've got a little better offense than
Yeah.
they've had. But they've got strength. They're thick. They're very physical.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard to get inside on. You're going to have to, and they're going to be there at the shooters of Ashworth and Funk for sure on the outside. And so we're going to have to find some ways to make some baskets. And then we're going to have to be as tough and physical as we can be on defense and rebounding the basketball against them for sure.
Otherwise, they've got guys that can score.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that really impressed me the most about Boise tonight is the ways they closed down on shooters. You would have a ball kicked out to Shulga or Bairstow or Ashworth,
They got out there
and
pretty
think you
fast.
got a shot. They were on them. You're going to see it just as quickly tomorrow. And really, this is going to be a more physical, more athletic team tomorrow. And Aggie's got to be ready to go. I hate to see that it's going to be this quick. We heard from Jalen. He said, at this point, your job is to get back, get to bed, get some rest.
And they're not going to be able to fall asleep fast.
No, they're still fired up. Big win, and so hopefully they're
ready to go. But then last night, the Boise State guys, remember their post game, they said, this is kind of like we enjoy this. It's like the AAU days when we used to go to some place and play as much basketball as we could because we loved this game.
Yeah.
And so that you get it. It's kind of like these guys are back in their AAU days where they get up at 6 a.m, they play 2 or 3 games by noon, 1 o'clock. They'll play another game at the night, and they'll turn around and play the next day 2 or 3. On a weekend, they'll play 6 or 7 games. They're young. I'm glad it's a young game. It's not an older game.
No doubt. But it'll be.
We
big.
are the third oldest team in the country with age of 21 point something. Yeah. That's the third oldest in the country.
But you say that, but that also translates into experience, and I think that's where tonight you saw RJ stepping up. He's been on this stage before, and you could see
that was great stuff for him.
He wasn't frazzled.
Really good stuff for him. Anything else then in the text line?
That's it.
Okay. Let's do final stats, and then we'll finish it up, and we'll start to work on our 3 o'clock game day for the 4 o'clock game on Channel 2 for the Aggies and San Diego State tomorrow. Again, San Diego State. So Boise State shoots 40%, 22 of 55, but they were 28% in the second half. They were 1 for 9 from 3 in the second half after they went 4 for 14. So they only made 5 3-point baskets in the game, 4 3-point baskets. The Aggies made 9. They went 14 of 22 at the line. The coach was right. When they went 1 for 2 on about 4 straight trips, that really hurt their momentum. They had 30 rebounds. The Aggies had 39. The points off of rebounds, let's see, second chance points were 3-0 for Boise State. That was it in the game. So there was only 5 offensive rebounds for Boise, 7 for the Aggies. But the points off of turnovers 13-10, but they were 13-0 against us. Points off of turnovers first half, they didn't get any more. Fast breaks were 6-6. Points in the paint were 30, Boise 20 for the Aggies because we did make those threes. And they had 14 for Smith, 14 for Shaver, 13 for Degenhart. Smith played well last night, and Shaver just not shooting as well as he did. He did have the 8 rebounds. He always does that. Degenhart had 4 boards. Smith had 4 boards in the game. And I'll tell you, Whiting, their freshman, really played well in the first half against Stephen defensively. Stephen kind of got his hand in the second half. 6 with 4 rebounds, and he also had 3 steals, I think it was, in the first half. So, and Milner had 6 off the bench. So they did get 12 bench points, but hey, with the bench points for the Aggies, 20-12, and it's Idle Rock 13 to Aikens 7 in this game off the bench. Aggies hit 40.4% to outshoot them, so every time we outshoot the opponents this year, but one time we've won, and the only time we didn't we won and we didn't outshoot them was New Mexico, the game at home against New Mexico. 9 of 29 threes, not great, 31%, but in the second half, 6 for 14. 21 of 26 free throws as a team, 14 assists, 15 turnovers, but we only had 5 in the second half, and scored 72 points against Boise State. Usually if we get in the 70s, we have a chance to win. It's going to be hard against San Diego State to get to that number. So here's the numbers for Utah State as far as individuals go, and I got to go to one other screen here on the computer to get them. So Akin goes 1 for 3, 5 for 6 free throws, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block shot. Did have 3 steals, 26 minutes, 7 points. Z Hamota played 4 minutes in the game and just had a rebound, and that was it. But R.J. Idlerock, in 23 solid minutes, led the plus-minus with 13, and he had 13 points, 4 of 6 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, 4 for 4 free throws, 3 rebounds. He had 2 turnovers in the game. Trevin Dorius did not score with 1 shot. It was a left-hand layup, or a hook that he tried to bank. He had 6 boards, though, and he did block 2 shots, had 3 turnovers. Taylor Funk, after the highest-scoring postseason game since Marv Roberts in 1970 against UCLA for the Aggies with 32, he had 7, 2 out of 6, 1 of 4 from 3, 2 of 2 free throws. Did have 10 boards, though, tonight for Taylor Funk, 2 assists, 2 blocked shots. Max Shulga, 19 points on 5 of 11, 3 of 7 from 3, 6 of 6 at the foul line. He had 2 rebounds, he had 5 assists, and he had just 1 turnover, 38 minutes. Stephen Ashworth had his 3 turnovers in the first half. He got a steal. He played the whole second half with 3 fouls. He played all 40 minutes, 14 points on 4 of 13 shooting, 3 of 10 from 3, 3 of 5 free throws, 1 rebound is all for Stephen tonight, but 2 assists. And then Bairstow kept us in it early with his energy. He had 5 of 12, 1 of 6 from 3. That 3 was in that stretch in the second half that got us going. 1 of 3 free throws, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 34 minutes of time. So that'll give you all the numbers on this game for Cache Valley Bank. We always appreciate them and all of our sponsors bringing it to you. So thank you again for joining with us before and after the game. Do it again tomorrow, 3 o'clock before. Games at 4 on Channel 2, National TV, CBS, and then we'll be back right after the game is over, hopefully talking about an Aggie win over San Diego State. The Aggies only have had 6 seasons better now than their record, which stands at, 26 wins with the win tonight over Boise State. 26-7 is where the Aggies are, and they're going to have to win some games tomorrow and in the NCAA tournament to have a chance to even get close to the all-time record of Utah State up at 30. So, all right, for John Russell and for the callers and for the sponsors and the texters, thank you for joining with us. Al Lewis here on KVNU will rejoin our regularly scheduled programming in progress right now.
Stay in.
Now, we've been talking about 100 years of paranormal study, but things are still in flux.